I knocked on 3 doors, pretending. I had lost everything. My 2 wealthy sons handed me some cash, told me they were sorry, and then made it very clear I could not stay with them. One said his house was too crowded. The other said his wife would not be comfortable. Both closed their gates and went back to their expensive lives. Then I knocked on my daughter and her husband's door. He was just a plumber with one old truck. But when he heard I had nowhere to go, he looked at my daughter and said something that changed everything. She is family. We will make room. By the next morning, my lawyer arrived carrying a file worth $3.2 million. And suddenly, the people who had closed their gates could not believe what they had just lost. For years, I believed my sons loved me. They were successful. Both lived in beautiful homes and drove expensive cars. Whenever I visited, they smiled, hugged me, and told everyone how much they respected their mother. But as I grew older, one question kept bothering me. If I ever lost everything, would they still want me in their lives? So I decided to find out. I told no one about the test except my lawyer. One rainy afternoon, I put on my oldest coat, left my car behind, and went to my first son's house. When he opened the door, I told him my investments had failed and I had nowhere to live. He looked shocked. Then he quietly pulled out some cash. "Take this, Mom. It should help for a few days." I asked if I could stay with him until I got back on my feet. His face changed. "Mom, you know how busy things are here? The house is already full." A few minutes later, the gate closed behind me. My second son gave me almost the same answer. More money, more excuses. Another closed gate. I was heartbroken, but my test was not over. I went to my daughter's small home. Her husband was outside working on his old plumbing truck when I arrived. I told them I had lost everything. My daughter immediately hugged me. But it was what her husband did next that I will never forget. He did not ask how much money I had. He did not ask how long I planned to stay. He simply said, "We will figure it out together." That night, I overheard him talking to my daughter. Their small house was already struggling financially. The next morning, he made a decision that brought tears to my eyes. He was willing to sell his truck and anything else they could spare to make sure. I had a home and never felt like a burden. That was the moment I knew. The next morning, a black car stopped outside their house. My lawyer stepped out, carrying a thick file. My sons had followed him, suddenly curious about why he was visiting me. My lawyer opened the file and calmly explained that my estate, investments, and property were worth $3.2 million. Then he revealed that I had been testing the people closest to me. My sons stood frozen. The plumber who had been ready to sell everything for me stood beside my daughter in complete silence. And then I made my decision. I looked at my sons and said, "Yesterday, you had the chance to give your mother a home. When you believed she had nothing, you gave me cash and closed your gates." Then I turned to my daughter and her husband. "You opened your door when you thought taking me in might cost you everything." My lawyer handed them the papers. I did not need another test. My money would go to the people who understood the value of family before they knew the value of my estate. My sons had spent their lives building wealth, but on the day I pretended to lose mine, they showed me exactly how poor they really were. If you believe families should never be measured by money,